Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to U.S. Coins Worth Secrets, the channel where hidden treasures of history come alive and reveal secrets that could change your life forever. If you're watching this right now, consider yourself among the chosen few, because what you are about to discover today is not just about old pieces of metal. It is about keys to a forgotten vault of fortune. The world of coins is filled with mystery, drama, and jaw-dropping surprises. And tonight we are stepping into one of the most thrilling chapters in American coinage history, the legendary Buffalo Nickel series. Now I want you to sit tight, because in this video, we are counting down the top 6 ultra-rare and most valuable Buffalo nickel coins ever to grace the auction floors in today's market. These aren't just ordinary nickels. No, these are masterpieces, living relics of American heritage, carrying stories of grit, artistry, and rarity so profound that their values skyrocket with every passing year. By the end of this video, you will realize why a simple-looking Buffalo nickel might just be worth more than the most dazzling jewels in your collection. And here's the best part. Every coin I reveal today has the power to take your breath away. One of these coins could be hiding in your drawer, sitting quietly in a jar, or lying forgotten in a dusty old box of family keepsakes. Yet its value today is nothing short of a life-changing fortune. I'm not exaggerating. The numbers you will hear in this countdown are real, current, and shaking up the collector's world right now. This is no fiction, my friends. This is the truth, updated and verified. So, are you ready? Ready to feel the suspense, the shock, and the thrill of finding out which Buffalo nickels are the most sought-after treasures in the market today? Buckle up, because we are beginning our journey with a coin that looks humble to the untrained eye, yet hides a story worth more than gold. Coin number 1, the 1927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark. The first treasure on our list takes us back almost a century, to the roaring 1920s, an era when America was booming with jazz, automobiles, and an ever-expanding horizon of opportunity. Amidst this exciting time in the year 1927, a coin was struck that would silently grow into one of the most fascinating rarities of the Buffalo nickel series, the 1927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark. Now let's paint the picture. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins. At first glance, collectors may dismiss it as just another old nickel. But here's where the mystery deepens. Unlike other years, the 1927 production suffered from subtle inconsistencies in strike quality and a relatively lower number of coins that survived the ravages of circulation in collectible condition. This made the 1927 issue, especially in higher grades and well-preserved states, an absolute treasure in today's numismatic world. The composition of this Buffalo nickel remains classic, 75% copper and 25% nickel, with a weight of 5 grams and a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. But what truly makes it shine is its iconic design. On the obverse, the proud profile of a Native American chief, crafted from the combined features of several real Native leaders, captures America's heritage and spirit of resilience. On the reverse, the majestic American bison, often referred to as Buffalo, stands strong, a symbol of untamed wilderness and strength. Every curve, every detail of this design whispers history, courage, and artistry. But here's where things get electrifying: the unique features of the 1927 without mint mark coin. Over time, most of these coins were lost to circulation, worn down to oblivion, or discarded. Finding one today in very fine condition with clear details on the Native American's hair braid and the buffalo's fur is not just unusual, it's nearly miraculous. This is exactly why collectors chase it like a hidden relic of time. Every surviving example becomes rarer and rarer as years pass, making it an object of unshakable demand. And let's talk about rarity and demand, because this is the heartbeat of its story. The 1927 no mint mark Buffalo nickel in lower grades might not stir much excitement. But once you see it in very fine condition, the energy changes completely. Collectors understand how rare it is to witness the sharpness of this design after almost 100 years. This isn't just about owning a coin, it's about owning a tangible connection to history. The market responds to this rarity with fire, and auctions today prove just how electrifying the demand really is. So, what's the current market value of this treasure? Hold on tight, because this is the part that leaves even seasoned collectors stunned. A 1927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, in very fine condition, has been commanding a staggering $106,800 in today's auction market. Yes, you heard that right. Over $106,000 for a single coin that once passed hands for just 5 cents. This is not imagination. This is reality, verified in the numismatic world right now. Owning this coin is like holding a gold mine in your palm. It is not less than a massive treasure chest, and its value keeps climbing year after year. The truth is, this coin could make anyone feel like they struck a hidden jackpot overnight. For collectors, here's my tip. If you ever encounter this coin, examine every detail carefully. Look for clear features, sharpness in strike, and minimal wear. Even if it looks aged, as long as the details remain visible, you may very well be staring at a treasure worth a 6-figure fortune. Don't ever underestimate the power of this coin, because every year, demand pushes its price higher and higher. In conclusion, the 1927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark isn't just a coin, it's a symbol of hidden wealth, a relic of American history, and one of the most exciting rarities you could ever dream of discovering. For those lucky enough to own one, it's not just money, it's prestige, legacy, and treasure in its purest form. And remember, this is just the beginning. We have 5 more Buffalo nickels ahead in this video, each one carrying a story more electrifying than the last, and each one holding a value that could change the way you see coins forever. Stay tuned, because the next coin on this list is about to shock you even more. Now, as we move deeper into our countdown of the top 6 ultra-rare and most valuable Buffalo nickels, brace yourself, because the next coin is a true shocker. It's a coin that carries not only the weight of history, but also the unmistakable power of rarity. This is the 1936 Buffalo nickel with the Denver mint mark, a coin that may look modest to the untrained eye. But in truth, it is one of the most explosive treasures ever uncovered in the world of American coin collecting. Let's rewind time for a moment. The year was 1936, a defining era in American history. The nation was still clawing its way out of the Great Depression. People were struggling, and every nickel mattered. In Denver, the United States Mint struck this remarkable coin, a piece that not only captured the resilience of the American people, but also went on to become a beacon of hope for collectors almost a century later. The design, of course, is iconic. On the obverse, we see the bold profile of a Native American chieftain, a composite of several real Native leaders who embodied strength and pride. His features are sharp, noble, and timeless. On the reverse, the mighty American buffalo, standing solid and grounded, represents the untamed spirit of the nation. But the key feature that separates this coin from its siblings is the tiny D mint mark, placed just below the denomination 5 cents on the reverse. That small letter represents the Denver Mint, and it's this little mark that unlocks a world of difference in rarity and value. The composition remains the same as the rest of the Buffalo Nickel series, 75% copper and 25% nickel. But the real magic lies not in its metal, but in its survival. Most coins struck in Denver in 1936 were heavily circulated. They passed through countless hands across counters, through pockets and cash registers. By the time decades had rolled by, most were worn down beyond recognition. That's why finding a 1936 D Buffalo nickel in very fine condition today is like striking gold in the most unexpected place. Let's talk about the unique features that collectors crave. A true, very fine condition 1936 D will still show pronounced details in the Native American's hair, feathers, and braid. On the reverse, the buffalo's horn, hump, and fur should remain visible and strong. These details might sound simple, but they are what transform this coin from common to legendary. A coin like this is not just rare, it is a survivor, a relic that defied the odds of circulation. The rarity and demand of 1936 D cannot be overstated. It is one of those coins that auctioneers love to showcase because the moment it appears, collectors lean forward in their seats. The hunger for this coin is insatiable. Why? Because it represents a perfect storm, a historic era, a recognizable mint mark, and a shockingly small population of well-preserved survivors. Every year that passes, fewer of these gems remain available, and the chase for them only intensifies. Now, here comes the part you have been waiting for, the current market value. If you think the last coin stunned you, wait until you hear this. A 1936 Buffalo nickel with the Denver mint mark in very fine condition, is currently commanding an unbelievable $85,000 in today's auction market. That's right, $85,000 for a nickel that once slipped casually through people's hands during the Great Depression. Think about that. A coin that once had the power to buy a loaf of bread can now place you among the elite collectors of America. This is no myth, no story, this is fact, verified by today's market. The value is climbing, and every expert agrees. Its price is rising like a rocket, year after year. Owning one is like holding a treasure chest that never stops appreciating. For collectors, here's my tip. Always keep a close eye on Denver minted Buffalo nickels, especially those from the mid-1930s. Examine every detail, look for that critical D-mint mark, and focus on the sharpness of strike. Even an old-looking coin, if it still holds clarity in its design, could turn out to be worth a fortune. And when you find a 1936D in very fine condition, you're not just looking at a collectible, you're looking at a golden opportunity that could redefine your collection. To conclude, the 1936D Buffalo nickel is not just a piece of metal. It is an emotional time capsule of America's resilience, a symbol of survival against all odds, and one of the most electrifying coins in the marketplace today. With its rarity, its undeniable demand, and its jaw-dropping current value of $85,000, this coin stands tall as a reminder that true treasures often come in the smallest of forms. And remember, this is only our second coin. The deeper we go into this list, the more powerful, the more shocking, and the more unbelievable the stories become. Stay right here, because the next coin on our list is about to raise the bar even higher and prove once again that the Buffalo Nickel series is nothing short of legendary. Now, my friends, as we move forward in our countdown of the top 6 ultra-rare and most valuable Buffalo nickels, we take a leap back in time, further back than the 1920s or the 1930s. This time, our journey takes us all the way to the year 1917, a year when America was on the edge of transformation, when the world itself was being reshaped by war and history was being written in bold, unshakable lines. It was during this turbulent and unforgettable year that the year 1917 Buffalo nickel without mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. On the surface, it may look like just another old nickel, aged and worn, but once you peel back the layers of history and rarity, you will see why this coin has become one of the most electrifying treasures in the numismatic world today. Let's first appreciate the historical backdrop. The United States had just entered World War I, and the nation was shifting its resources, energy, and spirit into the war effort. Every cent, every nickel carried with it a weight of sacrifice and determination. The Buffalo nickel, already beloved for its bold design, became not just currency, but a symbol of resilience during a defining moment in history. To hold a 1917 Buffalo nickel today is to hold a tangible reminder of the courage of a generation that endured through war and uncertainty. The design is nothing short of iconic. On the obverse, the proud profile of a Native American chief, carved with such intensity and nobility, stares forward with timeless strength. This wasn't just one person, it was a composite of 3 real Native leaders combined to symbolize the dignity of an entire people. Flip it over, and on the reverse, you are greeted by the mighty American bison, the buffalo, standing firm, its details carved to embody both strength and survival. Now here's what makes the 1917 without mint mark coins so special. Struck in Philadelphia, these coins carried no mint mark, which often makes them harder to identify at a glance compared to their Denver or San Francisco siblings. And yet it's this very simplicity that adds to its rarity. So many of these coins went into circulation, handled in everyday trade, that very few survived in fine condition with recognizable detail. Most examples were worn smooth long ago, lost to time and history. That's why finding one today with visible features is nothing short of extraordinary. Let's talk about the unique features collectors look for. In a fine condition 1917 Buffalo nickel, you can still see the outline of the Native Americans' features, the hair braid, the feathers, and part of the cheekbone remain visible. On the reverse, the buffalo's horn and hump are distinguishable. And while the coin may show its age, it proudly carries the scars of history in a way that thrills collectors. This balance between its worn but recognizable state and its survival across more than a century is exactly what makes it such a coveted rarity. Now comes the most exciting part, rarity and demand. The truth is, every Buffalo nickel collector, whether new or seasoned, dreams of owning a 1917 Philadelphia strike in collectible condition. Why? Because it is one of the earliest coins of the series, it ties directly to a crucial chapter in American history, and above all, it is incredibly hard to find in this grade. Collectors know that once a 1917 no mint mark appears in the marketplace, it won't stay there long. Competition is fierce, bids skyrocket, and the demand is nothing short of electrifying. And yes, the value is exactly what you have been waiting to hear. Hold on to your seat because 1917 Buffalo nickel without mint mark in fine condition is currently worth a jaw-dropping $80,000 in today's auction market. That's right, $80,000 for a coin that once bought a simple meal or a few essentials during wartime. This is no myth, no exaggeration. It's the absolute current price, confirmed and rising. Owning this coin is like unlocking a treasure chest, a fortune in your pocket that only continues to grow in power and prestige. For collectors, my tip is this. Never overlook a plain-looking Buffalo nickel from the 1910s. The absence of a mint mark may trick the untrained eye into believing it is ordinary, but in truth, it may be the very detail that transforms it into a life-changing treasure. Always inspect closely, look for that surviving detail, examine the strength of its features, and if you discover a 1917 Philadelphia issue in fine condition, understand that you are staring at one of the most remarkable opportunities in the collecting world. In conclusion, the 1917 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is not just a coin. It is a living time capsule of America's resilience during the First World War. It is a breathtaking reminder of history, a treasure of artistry, and a shining star in the numismatic marketplace. With its current market value of $80,000 and its increasing demand, it proves once again that Buffalo nickels are not just collectibles, they are treasures waiting to be discovered and cherished. And don't go anywhere, because we're only halfway through this electrifying journey. The next coin in our countdown will raise the stakes even higher. And trust me, you do not want to miss the treasure that's about to be revealed. We are now stepping into the heart of our countdown, and believe me when I say this, what comes next will leave you absolutely stunned. The coin I'm about to reveal is not just another chapter in the Buffalo nickel saga. It's a story of survival, of history etched in metal, and of a hidden treasure whose true worth continues to shake the auction world to its very core. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the legendary 1918 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, a coin born in the shadows of World War I, carrying the spirit of America at one of the most defining moments in history. Picture the year 1918. The Great War was raging, the world was in turmoil, and America was pouring its heart, soul, and resources into ensuring victory. At this time, the Buffalo nickel was already a familiar face in every pocket across the nation. Yet, among the coins struck that year at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1918 without mint mark would go on to become one of the most fascinating rarities of them all. The design, created by sculptor James Earl Fraser, is nothing short of iconic. On the obverse, the noble profile of the Native American chieftain radiates dignity and timeless power. On the reverse, the massive American bison stands as a monument of strength, its stance unyielding, its spirit unbroken. But beneath this familiar beauty lies the rarity that has elevated the 1918 Philadelphia issue into the realm of legend. Here's what makes this coin so unique. Unlike its Denver counterpart, which often garners attention for certain varieties, the Philadelphia 1918 issue had a massive circulation. These coins were spent heavily, used and reused until the fine details were worn away. This means that finding one today in fine condition with visible features still intact is almost like defying time itself. Most examples are smooth and lifeless. But when you hold a 1918 no mint mark with definition still clear, you're holding a miracle of survival. Collectors are especially drawn to the features that remain on a fine-grade coin. You can still see the contours of the Native American's cheek and braid, the outline of feathers that whisper of heritage, and on the reverse, the horn and hump of the mighty buffalo. These aren't just faint designs, they are battle scars of a coin that endured through war, depression, and the passage of more than 100 years. And yet it still stands proudly, demanding recognition. Now let's talk about rarity and demand. The 1918 without mint mark buffalo nickel is a sleeper rarity that collectors absolutely crave. Why? Because it represents a perfect blend of age, history, and scarcity. Many overlook it, but serious collectors know that once a fine condition specimen enters the market, it becomes the center of attention instantly. Bidding wars erupt, values climb higher and higher, and everyone in the room knows that they are witnessing a treasure that may not appear again for years. And now, the truth that makes jaws drop the current market value. Right now, in today's red-hot auction market, a 1918 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, in fine condition, commands an astounding $79,500. That's nearly $80,000 for a nickel that once circulated during a time when soldiers were shipping out to Europe, when families were rationing, and when every coin was stretched to its limit. This is not imagination. This is the present-day reality. A nickel from 1918 has transformed into a priceless artifact, a treasure chest in your pocket, and its value only continues to rise. For collectors, here's my tip. Never underestimate the power of Philadelphia minted coins. Even without a mint mark, they often hide the greatest treasures. The 1918 no mint mark is proof of this truth. Look carefully at every old Buffalo nickel you come across, especially those showing signs of age but still holding recognizable detail. What looks like an ordinary coin could, in fact, be the gateway to a fortune. In conclusion, the 1918 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is more than just a coin. It's a relic of a generation that faced war with courage, a masterpiece of American design, and a rarity that collectors will fight tooth and nail to own. With its current value of $79,500 and its trajectory pointing ever upward, this coin is a glowing testament to the hidden treasures that lie within the world of numismatics. And let me remind you, this is only our fourth coin. The suspense is building, the stakes are rising, and what is coming next will shock you even more. The final two Buffalo nickels in our countdown are about to redefine what you thought possible in coin collecting. Stay tuned, because the treasure hunt is only getting hotter. We're getting closer to the grand finale, and with every step, the excitement intensifies. The deeper we dig into the treasure chest of Buffalo nickels, the more astonishing the discoveries become. And now, my friends, we arrive at a coin that radiates with the rare glow of hidden fortune. A coin that, despite its age and humble beginnings, has emerged as one of the great jewels of American numismatics. Let me take you back to the year 1925, a year when America was roaring with energy. The jazz age was in full swing, radios were filling homes with music, and the nation was racing toward modernity. But tucked quietly inside the coin presses of the Philadelphia Mint, something extraordinary was being struck, a coin that would one day turn collectors' heads, spark bidding wars, and rise to become a priceless treasure. That coin is none other than the 1925 Buffalo nickel without mint mark. At first glance, it may look like a typical nickel, aged and worn from decades of circulation. But don't be fooled. Beneath that surface lies a story of artistry, resilience, and rarity so strong that its name now commands the highest levels of respect in today's marketplace. The design remains one of the most beloved in American coinage. On the obverse, the proud Native American profile still carries the bold dignity of a heritage too powerful to fade. On the reverse, the mighty American bison, the buffalo, remains frozen in time, a living monument to the untamed wilderness of the American frontier. Sculptor James Earl Fraser's masterpiece has never lost its brilliance, and the 1925 issue captures it in all its glory. But what makes the 1925 without mint mark so unique? Unlike some years where coins survived in large numbers, the 1925 Philadelphia issue was struck in heavy circulation. People used these nickels relentlessly through the booming 20s and into the harsh years of the Great Depression. Most were worn into oblivion, stripped of their beauty, and eventually discarded. That is why finding one today in fine condition, where the Native American's braid, cheek, and feathers are still visible, and where the buffalo's horn and body are still clear, is a near miracle. It is an event that collectors dream of. The rarity and demand for this coin are extraordinary. Collectors know that the 1925 no mint mark is one of the trickiest to locate in collectible condition. And when one appears, you can almost feel the energy shift in the auction room. All eyes turn toward it. All wallets open. Everyone knows that this isn't just a coin, it's an opportunity. The demand for this treasure has been climbing consistently, year after year, and today it is hotter than ever. And here it is at the moment you've been waiting for the current market value. Hold on to your seats, because a 1925 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, in fine condition, is commanding an astonishing $70,000 in today's auction market. That's $70,000 for a nickel that once jingled in the pockets of ordinary Americans during the Roaring '20s. Can you imagine it? What was once worth just 5 cents is today a hidden fortune, a treasure chest waiting to be unlocked. And this is not speculation, it is the absolute truth, the current verified value in today's numismatic market. And the best part, its value is climbing. Every year, this coin proves itself to be not just rare, but unstoppable. For collectors, here's my tip. Always pay close attention to Buffalo nickels from the mid-1920s. Their survival rates are low, and when you do come across one, check it carefully. Look for the strength in its details, and if you're lucky enough to find a 1925 Philadelphia issue in fine condition, understand that you've discovered a treasure most people will never see in their lifetime. In conclusion, the 1925 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is more than a coin. It's a living artifact of the Roaring '20s, a symbol of survival through one of the most dynamic decades in American history, and a true treasure in the collector's world. With its current value of $70,000 and its ever-increasing demand, it proves once again that what may look ordinary on the surface can, in truth, be a priceless relic of unimaginable worth. But don't go anywhere yet, because we still have one more coin left in this countdown, and trust me when I say, the final treasure is going to shock you beyond belief. The best is yet to come, and it is waiting just around the corner. And now, my friends, we arrive at the final coin in today's lineup, and believe me, this is not just a coin, it's a jaw-dropping, heart-stopping finale that will leave you in absolute shock. We're talking about the legendary 1934 Buffalo nickel with the D mint mark, a coin that doesn't just carry history, it radiates a kind of untouchable aura. Look at it closely. Its dark gray shade is not a flaw, it is a cloak of time, a mark of resilience, giving it that hauntingly beautiful, almost mystical appearance that makes collectors stop in their tracks. The 1934 year was a time when the Great Depression was leaving its scars across America. Factories slowed, banks collapsed, and everyday life was weighed down by hardship. But in that storm of uncertainty, the Buffalo nickel was quietly being struck, coins that would go on to embody survival, grit, and the raw spirit of a nation determined to rise again. The D-mint mark signifies it was minted in Denver, and Denver issues often carry lower mintages compared to Philadelphia, making them instantly desirable to those who truly know the secret world of numismatics. What sets this coin apart? It is not just the date or the mint mark. It is the look, the rarity, and the condition. This particular 1934 D piece in fine condition with its shadowy dark surface doesn't just whisper history, it shouts it. The details of the Native American portrait and the proud buffalo on the reverse still hold their strength, and that means collectors fight with ferocity when one like this enters the auction block. And remember this, demand for buffalo nickels has never faded. They are treasures that collectors never stop chasing. So, what happens when this beauty hits today's auction market? Prepare yourself. This coin has been appraised at a staggering $89,000. Yes, you heard me correctly. 89,000 US dollars. That's not a price tag, that's an announcement, a declaration that this small piece of nickel is, in fact, a grand treasure chest. Its value is not a dream, it's not a fantasy. It's a living, breathing fact in the numismatic world today. The market is rising, demand is climbing, and coins like this are only destined to skyrocket higher in the years to come. Don't dismiss this, because this is the truth. A fortune hides in these rare coins, and people who own them are sitting on a treasure most of the world overlooks. And let me give you a collector's tip. If you ever encounter a 1934 Buffalo nickel with a D-mint mark, study it carefully. Condition, shading, and clarity of details can mean the difference between a few $100s and life-changing amounts like what we are talking about right now. Always look for strong details, minimal wear, and that distinctive Denver D. If you find one, hold on to it, because you will be holding on to a slice of treasure that the world envies. So, to wrap up our incredible journey today, let's reflect. We've uncovered 6 ultra-rare Buffalo nickels, coins that aren't just bits of metal, but priceless relics of America's story. From the 1927 Philadelphia Survivor to this final powerhouse, the 1934 D, each one proves without a doubt that hidden treasures exist all around us. These coins are more than just valuable. They are living reminders that history can be held in your hand, and sometimes it can make you unimaginably rich. My friends, this is why my channel, US Coins Worth Secrets, exists. To guide you, to show you the truth, to open your eyes to treasures most people ignore. This is a faithful and trustful channel, updated daily with fresh discoveries, so that you never miss out on the chance to uncover your own piece of fortune. If this video gave you chills, if you felt that rush of excitement, then I've done my job. Don't forget to subscribe, share this with friends and family, and turn on notifications because we're only getting started. The world of rare US coins is deeper, richer, and more electrifying than you can imagine. And I'll be right here to take you further down that path. So until the next video, remember this: keep your eyes open, check your pockets, and never underestimate the power of a single coin. Because sometimes what looks ordinary is in fact an extraordinary treasure, waiting to change your life forever. This is US Coins Worth Secrets signing off with truth, excitement, and the promise of more treasures to come.